My name is Stephen Young. I'm a sophomore and I am a philosophy major. Back in February, my mother relapsed, which she had been sober for 5 years. And with school, and especially within higher education, it's really easy to get behind and to allow things to start getting piled up with what you're going through. And thanks to the learning community I was in, I was really able to find my place here. It encouraged me to come more and not totally just sit back and think about what was going on and instead of focusing on that rather than continuing on with school. And because of that, I really think that helped me push through that second semester without really having any major drawbacks. You know, through the learning community, I really found my place, and I found a lot of lifelong friends who've really helped me through a lot, and I'm super thankful for that.
My name is Lisa Camp, and I am a graduate student studying business administration. As a commuter, it was an obstacle feeling involved or finding my place here at Webster. You do the commuter shuffle and you just kind of go to class, you go home, you don't interact with students or people. So I combated that by just getting involved and staying on campus even if I didn't have a class, just to get to meet people. Through the Career Planning and Development Center, I found people who were telling me things and ways I can get involved, and then I found professors were a great encouragement, telling me about events going on campus, organizations and clubs I can get involved in. Billy Ratz and Jennifer Stewart, Katie McCombs, and Rob Parent, they were all tremendous in my college experience. I was a completely different person when I first came to Webster. I was shy, I didn't talk to a lot of people. I wouldn't call myself a leader, and now I'm the complete opposite. I love to interact with other students and people. I am a leader, and I love to take on new challenges and opportunities.
My name is Carlos Augusto Jimenez Delgado. I know, super long name, and I'm here at Webster studying advertising and marketing communications since 2017. My biggest challenge here definitely was the language barrier, because as a non-native speaker, I was, really afraid of not being able to speak appropriately, because, having a casual conversation in another language is easy. But within an academic environment, it is totally different. You need to incorporate new terminology. You need to be able to understand your classmates. Luckily for me, I had an amazing experience with the ESL department, the English as a Second Language department, and her coordinator, Caroline Traktova. She was just amazing, providing valuable tools to improve my written skills, my verbal skills. From School of Communication, which is, my department, Bob Dixon, which was my thesis professor, he definitely gave me amazing tools as well. And I can say right now that I'm doing so much better in my master's degree. I'm having A's, which is super awesome. But definitely I'm so happy to be here and enjoying this amazing opportunity.
My name is Olivia Potter. I'm studying International Relations and French, and I'm a senior. My freshman year, particularly my first semester, was difficult for me. I knew that I came into Webster wanting to study abroad, but I had these illnesses that were prohibiting me from moving forward. I knew that I needed a budget. I knew that I needed to figure out how I was getting from place to place when I was in Europe. And I knew that I kind of needed to work on essentially myself with knowing the impediments that I had. It was really overwhelming, and how I was able to tackle those things was utilizing the resources that Webster provides, like financial aid, the study abroad office, the forensics team, career planning and development. Without those things, I wouldn't have been able to do my trip, or at least my trip to the extent that I wanted to do it. So I studied abroad in Webster Leiden, and I completed the Hague Peacemaking Program, where I was able to see the International Court of Justice, the International Tribunal for Lebanon, The Hague in general, and then I also studied abroad in Vienna. But beyond that, I was able to travel to 21 other countries. Obviously, this trip isn't something that I can say I did alone, and I wouldn't dare to. People like Gina Jensen and Melissa Hogan, Nick Hall in Study Abroad, John Link in Career Planning and Development, Kelly Kate Pease in the International Relations Department. And that kind of support system is everything to me, especially, thinking about the challenge I faced with my health, and then just being so young and never going abroad before. Because I had people at Webster that knew I was going in the right direction, Here I am 25 countries later, and it makes all the world of difference to me.
My name is Justin Kloss, and my major is Media Communications. Last year I was a part of the TAP program, and that is run by the Academic Resource Center. I actually was accepted to the university conditionally. My ACT or my GPA wasn't high enough, so I had to go through academic counseling. I went through counseling through the ARC, and that was one hidden gem that I didn't know was helping me. Everyone in there from Corey Hawkins, Chris Robinson, Carolyn Brown, and Erica Ellard, they all have academic positions there, and they also are counselors. They're also there for you. But looking back on it, I know all of those names I mentioned are there for me and for everyone else as well. Justin Barton and his partner, her name is Vanika Spencer. They again have been hidden gems within my special support system. I was in the ARC at one point when Vanika came in pushing me to become an orientation leader. That encouragement and support has pushed me to become an orientation leader and is going to last throughout this next year. I look up to them, they're my role models, and I feel like because of them it's going to be a very exciting year.
My name is Charlie Crone. I'm a third-year student in the nurse anesthesia program. It's hard to underestimate how rigorous this program actually is. It is challenging. It'll push you to the limits, both in the classroom and at the hospital during clinical. So as a bedside nurse for 4 years, I don't think I was quite prepared to write a challenging academic paper of 50 to 60 pages, as I'm doing right now for my thesis. It was very difficult starting off such a huge process, and I'm very thankful that the faculty, especially Dr. Martina Steed, has been my mentor. She has been instrumental in guiding us with both formatting and direction with this thesis, both in our literature review, clinical application, and writing hints. I think there's been days that I've been in her office 5 or 6 different times throughout one morning. Thankfully, Dr. Steed and the other faculty have been there to support and guide us throughout this program. I do not know how it's possible without the level of support that they've shown and my classmates have shown.
My name is Zach Cromer. I'm an interactive digital media major. I have a minor in photography and web design. I have Asperger's syndrome, and so does my brother. They're so inclusive. I felt like I was at home the second I got here. Back in 2016, I was offered an internship at United Launch Alliance, which is a company that NASA uses to launch rockets. When I was offered this internship in communications and web development, I immediately had to take it. So, I've never had a desk job before. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know who to talk to. So the first thing I did was I went to my web teacher, Scott Graneman. Now Scott is an amazing professor of mine. He's taught me everything I know. We sat down and he just gave me tips upon tips and pointers about what to do, what not to do, and how to make things better. And in the end, I think it worked out great. We made a great website over there in Denver. Space is my obsession in life. Ever since I was 3 years old, I've been looking up at the stars. And now I have interned for United Launch Alliance. I've been on the board for 4 space conferences and 2 international ones. I have met over a dozen astronauts, and I have had lunch with Buzz Aldrin. I'm a giant nerd and I love it.